The moment she walked through the door, I knew this wasn't going to be ordinary. Her smile was wide, almost too confident, and her eyes darted around the apartment like she was inspecting a place she thought she now controlled. "So is this our new housemaid?" she asked, tilting her head and letting the words hang in the air, heavy with mockery and misplaced humor. "My name is Ethan. For 4 years I had built a life with Olivia. Love, trust, and the shared dream of stability. And yet, in the past 2 weeks, she had disappeared, claiming she needed time to explore herself. No calls, no texts, no explanations, just a sudden void where she used to be. 2 weeks. 14 days. Enough time for her to pretend the world could teach her lessons about independence, identity, or self-discovery. But here she was, acting as though nothing had happened, as though her absence had been a minor inconvenience rather than a breach of trust. I didn't move. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I let her words settle. Let her realize the weight of her own audacity. She had returned smiling, confident, assuming that charm alone could erase the emptiness she had left behind. But I had changed too. I wasn't the same man she had left 2 weeks ago. I had reflected, calculated, and strengthened my resolve. "Olivia," I said finally, voice calm, steady, and deliberate. "2 weeks ago, you left claiming you needed time. You didn't just leave the apartment. You left the trust we had built, the respect we shared, and the bond that I thought was unbreakable." Her smile faltered slightly, but she recovered quickly, leaning casually against the counter. "Oh, come on, Ethan. I was just figuring things out. You should be happy I'm back, right?" I shook my head slowly. Happiness isn't just about presence. It's about consistency, honesty, and respect. You've tested all 3 in my patience, and I need you to understand that actions have consequences, even when wrapped in a smile and humor. Her eyes flickered with a mix of amusement and uncertainty. This was the first crack in the armor she thought she wore so well. The first moment she realized that returning with a casual joke wouldn't automatically restore the equilibrium she had disrupted. I crossed my arms and leaned back, letting the silence speak louder than any words could. In that pause, she could feel the shift. I was no longer just the man waiting for her return. I was the man who had chosen himself while she was away. She hesitated, the confident mask she wore so effortlessly beginning to crack. "Ethan, it's not like that," she said, voice softer now, almost pleading. "I just needed time to see who I am, to figure out what I want." I studied her carefully, watching every micro-expression, every flicker of guilt that betrayed her rehearsed smile. 2 weeks of self-discovery had brought her back, but not with clarity or growth, only audacity and assumption. She expected me to welcome her with open arms, as though absence could be brushed aside by charm alone. "Olivia," I said, my voice steady, deliberate, "you didn't just leave. You dismissed the trust and understanding that took years to build. 2 weeks of wandering around thinking the world owes you lessons does not erase the impact of leaving without a word." Her lips pressed into a thin line. She tried to interject, tried to make a joke, but I didn't let her. Silence can be the loudest teacher, and in that silence, she felt the full weight of her choices. I continued, calm but firm. "You came back smiling, acting like it's all fun and games, but this isn't a game. Respect, trust, and commitment aren't things you can explore on your own timetable, only to return as if nothing happened. Actions have consequences." Her eyes darted to the side, a sign of recognition and maybe for the first time fear. She had underestimated me. She had assumed my patience would bend to accommodate her whims. She had assumed that her return with a joke and a grin would reset everything to the way it was before she disappeared. I leaned slightly forward, letting my words carry weight. "I didn't wait for you to return because I was passive. I waited because I needed to see if absence would teach you humility, honesty, or respect. And clearly, 2 weeks wasn't enough for that lesson." Her smile wavered. The playful attitude was gone now, replaced with uncertainty. She realized, finally, that returning without accountability didn't guarantee forgiveness. That her joke about a new housemaid only highlighted her disrespect and lack of understanding. I stood in the doorway, letting the moment stretch, allowing her to fully grasp that this wasn't just a casual reunion. This was a reckoning, a chance for her to see the consequences of her choices, and for me to assert the boundaries I had maintained, even while she was gone. She took a tentative step closer, clearly searching for some sign that I would laugh off her audacity, that I would let the charm and grin erase the consequences. Ethan, come on. Can we just? Her voice faltered, the confident tone replaced by hesitation. I raised a hand, cutting her off gently but firmly. No, Olivia. You need to understand something. Coming back with a smile doesn't undo the choices you made. 2 weeks of disappearance may have been fun for you, but for me it was a period of reflection, clarity, and self-respect. And now your actions meet their consequence. She swallowed hard, the playful arrogance she had carried now stripped bare. She glanced around the apartment as if seeking validation from the walls, from the life we had built together. But the validation wasn't coming. I was calm, collected, and unyielding. A man who had regained control over his own life. You came back, I continued, expecting forgiveness or maybe relief on your part. But life doesn't work that way. Absence doesn't reset trust. Absence doesn't erase disrespect. And absence certainly doesn't excuse leaving without accountability. Her gaze fell to the floor, lips trembling. Ethan, I realize now that I shouldn't have left. I was selfish. I wanted to explore, but I see now. I see what I've risked. I nodded slowly, letting her words hang, heavy with recognition. Yes, you risked more than you realized. And the lesson here isn't just for you. It's for me too. I've learned that patience and self-respect are stronger than charm or manipulation. That love without accountability isn't love. It's convenience. She stepped back, finally grasping the weight of her mistake. There were no more jokes, no more playful comments. The audacity that once seemed so untouchable had crumbled under the steady presence of someone who refused to be swayed. I let the silence stretch a few moments longer, allowing her to feel the magnitude of her choices. Then I spoke one last time. I hope your exploration taught you lessons you couldn't have learned any other way. But understand this, if you ever return expecting the past to welcome you with open arms, you will find nothing but clarity, and a man who has chosen himself first. She nodded slowly, tears welling in her eyes, fully aware that the freedom she assumed she had in leaving was met with a boundary she could not cross. Without another word, she turned and walked out, leaving me in a house filled not with absence, but with reclaimed dignity, calm, and strength. That night, as I sat quietly in the living room, I realized the truth. Some departures are temporary, but some lessons are permanent. And the power of self-respect is something no absence, no smile, and no charm can ever erase.